All right, greetings everybody. First of all, I want to apologize for having to do a pre-recorded Zoom meeting. I've got a schedule conflict, so I will not be able to do the live meeting today, but I wanted to make sure you had the information, so that's why I'm going in this direction here. But as always, feel free to shoot me emails if you have questions. I'm noticing that more and more people are doing that, which is great. Every morning, I think I have 1 or 2 emails waiting for me with people needing questions or clarifications, and that's fantastic. Keep that communication going. That's how we succeed. So let me go ahead and share the screen, and we can go ahead and get started here. And we are rolling into week 3. All we need is the PowerPoint to work with us. There we go. All right, so reflections from week 2, and I have concerns to really kick things off. I still have several people who have not submitted the week 1 assignment, the 6 to 8 page public policy paper, and that's concerning to me because we are now coming to the end of week 2, and what I don't want to see happen is I don't want people to dig themselves into a hole that they can't get out of. It's easy to do with online coursework, is it's kind of easy to kind of push things to the side since you're doing things at home, and it's really easy to get distracted, but you have to be self-disciplined in order to be successful. So it's not impossible to dig yourself out of this hole, but you can't continue to push off getting the work done, and also you lose points. You're losing points by submitting things late. So I have folks who have missing week 1 assignment, still have not submitted their initial post for week 2, which we are, today is Sunday. So this is the deadline to get initial post and peer responses completed. And I know that we have a late policy, and that within the late policy, I provide you some time to be able to get things done at a 10% grade deduction, moving into a 20%, but that's not something you want to try to use to your advantage. It won't work for you in that way. I've done this long enough to know those trends. So please get your work turned in and stay current on your assignments. Now, what I really want to stress is the research proposals. And so far, the ones that have been submitted are looking really great. And those people are ready to move on to do their annotated bibliographies. But you cannot move on to week 3 assignment until you have a completed and approved research proposal submitted to me. So if you did not watch the week 2 Zoom meeting, I highly suggest you go back and watch that so you can have an easier time doing the assignment. But you cannot move on to week 3 until you have week 2 completed. So please remember that. And finally, do have some folks that have been losing points for either overcapitalization or for not removing embedded hyperlinks in their references list. And I told you that was going to happen, and sure enough, that's the case. So if you're one of those people, you've been losing points due to APA formatting, go back to the week 1 Zoom video, watch it, get those pointers so you can make those corrections, because that's really something you shouldn't be losing points on by this point. All right, so we are into week 3, and we are into definitely into the nitty-gritty of completing our research paper. Like I said, everything that we do from here on out builds upon week 7. So I'm going to be explaining to you your assignment this week on the annotated bibliography. And what I want you to keep in mind is what you do this week is going to be the same as what you do next week. And so this could be an opportunity for you if you are disciplined enough to really be able to get ahead of the game here. And I'll talk to you about how that works in just a minute. But let's first of all look at our discussion post for this week. And it focuses on a topic that until I started teaching this class, I really wasn't all that familiar with. And that's the Federal Reserve Board. And so in your readings for this module, you'll be able to get some information on the FRB. And that aligns with your discussion post. So the Federal Reserve Board is somewhat independent of political and citizen control in making of monetary policy. Why do you think the system was set up this way? And is the independence of the FRB a problem or a strength? And so I want you to really try to look at both sides of this topic here when you're writing this. Now remember, it can't be simply just editorial, it can't be just opinion. You need to be able to cite scholarly references, so continue to write objectively, try to look at both sides and try to utilize the research that's already out there to support your stances. And remember, your discussion posts, each one of them, are always a minimum of 300 words, minimum of 2 scholarly references, your initial posts due by Thursday, peer responses due by Sunday. Okay, so let's go on to your assignment for this week. And so you're going to be doing annotated bibliography. So essentially, you're looking for research that's going to help support your research question that you had approved or that you're going to get approved. So you can write your final research paper. And so in your final research paper, you're going to have at least 20 scholarly references from the past 5 years, at least 20. So to help with that, this week and next week, you'll be submitting annotated bibliographies, and each one will have a set of 10 peer-reviewed scholarly sources that you'll be sending to me to review for you. And so this helps ensure that the research you're doing is well-rounded, that you're using valid sources, that what you're choosing actually aligns with your research proposal, and it also makes it a little easier for you because you're getting the research out of the way now. So that way, when you do your writing, you've got it right there ready to go for you. You may actually be doing some of your writing in this annotated bibliography, because what you're doing is essentially taking a source that you found and you're kind of writing like a miniature book report, all right? Just a miniature summary of what that particular source is all about. And you're going to do that 10 times. And so there's a format I want you to use with this. When you do it, you're not going to have a reference list at the end of your annotated bibliography. You don't need it because you're going to do it the way that I'm going to show you here in just a second. So let's take a look at it. Actually, we're going to jump ahead and then we're going to come back to this. So I've got a couple of examples for you here. Let's take a look at this one. So this is the format I actually want you to use. I want you to do your citation up at the top, and then provide your summary. So you do citation, summary, and it'll work just like that, okay? So this person actually has a good format for how they're going to submit each one of their bibliographies here. The problem is, well, there's a lot of problems here, so let's take a look at this example here. First of all, if you look at the APA formatting here on their reference, it's not in 6th edition. They're including the full name of the author, which isn't appropriate. They don't have well, I guess the title's not too bad. The issue here is really that they're missing all the publisher information. We could say that this probably needs to be in italics. It could have been a formatting issue. But there's a lot of things wrong here. So you got to make sure that, first of all, you're doing things in APA 6th edition. But then we get into the summary itself. And so let's look at this one. This article is about standardized testing and the annoyance of the test. Right off the bat, we're seeing opinion put in here. There's been a little bit of improvement from elementary to high school. There seems to be a consensus that there should be less testing, more teacher accountability in teaching the subjects, making sure the students understand the subject matter, and less testing knowing that the students know the subject matter. There's really no there's no detail here. There's no substance to this review if you look at it. It's 2 sentences long, and both sentences really don't give you a whole lot that you can kind of work with. I don't have enough here to really determine whether this is a worthwhile reference to be able to use in your final research paper. So let's look at this example here. This one is better. Look at this. We've got a appropriate APA formatting up at the top here, no hyperlinks, proper capitalization, everything like that looks really great up here. Then we get into the meat of the summary, and as you read through this, you can see this person put a lot of time and effort into really bringing out what this particular article was about. And so this is the quality that I'm looking for. So if you're wondering exactly what it is that I want in each one of your summaries, this is it. So imagine doing something like this 10 times, and that's your annotated bibliography for this week. Okay? So I'm going to jump back here. And so when you're thinking about how to do this bibliography successfully, a couple things pop into mind. First of all, your quantity of sources. You need to have 10. No more, no less. If you do more than 10, I'm only grading 10, you're wasting your time. If you do less than 10, you're going to lose points because I can't give you credit for something that you didn't submit. Reliability of sources. In other words, are they coming from a valid site? It's not just the first thing that you found on Google. Is it dated within the past 5 years? I would say that that's probably one of the areas people make the biggest mistakes with on their annotated bibliographies. They don't pay attention to the publication date. It's got to be within the past 5 years. So if it's older than 2014, don't use it for this assignment. Variety of perspective. So if you're writing about standardized testing, for example, and all of your articles talks about the evils of standardized testing, are you really providing a variety of perspectives, or are you slanting the research to favor what you would like the outcome to be? So show me that you're balancing things and that you're looking at different aspects of the topic. Make sure your APA formatting is on point, and make sure that your reviews are quality. You're providing enough information, just like the second example that I gave there. And so when you are working on your bibliographies this week, there's a couple ways you could approach this, you know. If it was me, and I decided I'm going to start on this tomorrow, Monday, I would strive to do 2 a day. And so you're doing 2 Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You've got your 10, submit early, no big deal. But then I would just keep going, because week 4 is going to be the exact same assignment. You have to provide 10 more sources. So why not keep going? Saturday do 2 more, Sunday do 2 more, and then when you're starting into the week, you've already got 40% of your next assignment taken care of. And that just starts this process of you being a little bit ahead of the game. So that way, when it comes time to write your paper, perhaps you'll have more than just 1 week to be able to do it. So that would just be my suggestion. If you really want to kick it up a notch, strive for 3 of these a day. It's not bad if you're taking it in small chunks. Where it becomes difficult is if it's Saturday night and you're trying to get all 10 of them done, and then you're hating the class, you're hating me, you're hating yourself. Don't do that to yourself, okay? Spread out your work. Okay, so as always, if you have questions about things, don't hesitate to let me know. But those are going to be your assignments for this week, and essentially it's going to be what your assignments look like for next week too. So start thinking ahead, and if you are one of those people who are behind in their work, let's get caught up, so that way you won't run into this problem any further. You can dig yourself out of the hole, and most importantly, you can get that research proposal submitted so it can get approved. Because, and I'm going to state this one more time, you cannot submit your annotated bibliography until you have an approved research question, all right? So if you did not watch last week's Zoom meeting, make sure you do so. Other than that, if you're on top of things, keep going, stay in touch if you have any questions, and make it a great week. Take care.